Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because we are going to look at something that constantly surrounds us. It completely shapes our daily lives, and yet we honestly don't even notice it until it suddenly stops working. We're exploring the evolution of efficiency. Think about it for a second. We've gone from the 15th century, where publishing business papers was literally a painstaking handwritten struggle, to today, where we're managing these massive, cloud-based, automated powerhouses that practically run themselves. We're going to break down exactly how this physical and invisible machinery actually makes the modern business world tick. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the modern office equipment concept, then look at essential kinds of office machines. After that, we'll dive into the power of office automation, weigh the pros and cons of mechanization, and wrap up with selecting the right office machines. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the modern office equipment concept and how it's fundamentally transforming the workspace. Okay, picture the traditional office in your head. You're probably seeing heavy wooden desks, closed doors, and those towering stacks of paper where important documents inevitably went to disappear, right? It was very isolated and leaned incredibly hard on manual labor. But contrast that with the modern office. Open layouts, lots of space, light decor, and serious tech integration. But here's the thing, it's not just a fancy aesthetic upgrade. It is a profound cultural shift. A contemporary workplace uses technology to break down those old silos. It's way less about tying people to specific desks and more about building a culture based on mutual respect, trust, and free-flowing collaboration. So you might be wondering, why bother upgrading if that clunky old printer technically still turns on? Well, because merely surviving isn't the same as being efficient. Modern machines just offer vastly superior output. They handle larger volumes with pristine quality. Plus, they have these incredible energy-saving features, like smart sleep modes that quietly shrink your long-term costs. But honestly, the biggest win? They are intuitive. Upgrading actively eliminates stress. I mean, nothing kills a positive, collaborative office vibe faster than a paper jam or a confusing software update, right? Good, reliable equipment stops the daily IT headaches so your team can actually focus on their real work. Moving right along to Section 2, essential kinds of office machines. Let's look at building the actual infrastructure. It's kind of funny when you think about it, but even in our increasingly digital world, our infrastructure still relies on a highly physical blend of tools. Take computer software, your CRMs, your word processors. That's undeniably the brain of information management. But that brain has to be paired with ergonomic furniture. That dictates how comfortable and focused your team actually is, while also making the space welcoming for clients. And then, despite all those promises of a fully paperless utopia, we still absolutely need storage supplies, from digital flash drives to literal physical folders to keep projects organized. And yes, printers. Eventually, every business needs to print a tangible invoice or a composite document. You really can't build a functional workspace without harmonizing all four of these elements. Which brings us to Section 3, the power of office automation. This is all about eliminating human intervention. Now, automation is a term that gets thrown around a lot, but it is a very specific concept. It's the collection of hardware and software designed to handle routine operations so you simply don't have to. The key phrase to remember here is minimal human involvement. By setting up the rules beforehand, the system just takes over. It handles the tedious data storage, data interchange, and management totally silently in the background. It literally frees up your mental bandwidth so you can do the actual high-level thinking and strategy. A prime example of this out in the real world is Microsoft Office 365. Because these apps are designed to seamlessly talk to one another, like whether you're pulling numbers from a spreadsheet directly into a presentation or co-authoring a shared document, the system is doing the heavy lifting of information management for you. This kind of centralized, hosted automation saves a business massive amounts of time and, of course, a whole lot of money. And on a very similar note, we have platforms like Google Workspace. This is just a brilliant example of streamlined data interchange. Employees can save hours of formatting by using shared templates hosted on remote servers. Basically, anyone with a cellular connection can access exactly what they need the very second they need it. This kind of organized cloud sharing completely eliminates the need for an awkward data sharing middleman. It just removes all that friction from your workflow. Shifting gears a bit, here's Section 4, mechanization, pros and cons. Let's talk about the reality of machines. Okay, so it is super important that we draw a clear line here. While automation is all about decisions and data, the brain of the operation, mechanization is specifically about muscle. It's the effort to replace physical human labor with machine operation to get regular duties done more effectively. It's that massive transition from doing things by hand to utilizing equipment. It is undeniably the backbone of the contemporary administrative process. But, as you might guess, it introduces some very real complications. Mechanization comes with a pretty strict set of trade-offs. On the plus side, it completely slashes the mind-numbing monotony of repetitive manual tasks. It maintains standardization, ensures incredible accuracy, and over the long run, it really drives down your operational costs per hour. But the disadvantages are definitely steep. Setting this up requires massive initial capital for installation, not to mention constant ongoing maintenance. You often need specially trained staff just to run these sophisticated machines, which means instant bottlenecks if that one person calls in sick. And of course, there's always that ever-present threat of hardware outages or random software glitches that can bring your entire daily operation to a grinding halt. And this brings us to a hidden, often ignored danger that companies fall into, the trap of the underutilized machine. Buying an expensive, state-of-the-art piece of equipment is a massive mistake if it just sits in the corner gathering dust. If a machine isn't used to its full potential, it is strictly blocking the capital you spent to get it, and it instantly decreases your overall profitability. You're basically paying a premium for a high-tech paperweight with absolutely zero operational return. So how do we avoid those expensive mistakes? Section 5. Selecting the right office machines. Let's get to the practical takeaway. The next time you're ready to invest, keep this checklist handy to guide your strategy. First up, balance your cost with durability. Does the long-term operational savings actually justify that upfront price tag? And is it going to survive daily wear and tear? Next, look at the physical footprint. You want compactness, portability, and multiple uses. Space is at an absolute premium in modern open-plan offices, so versatile equipment that can move with your team is gold. Finally, heavily prioritize convenience, ease of use, and security. The equipment has to actively protect your company's data and fit seamlessly into your workflow. If it requires a dense instruction manual for every single task, it's just not the right fit. As we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on as you look around your own workspace. Check out your software, your hardware, your automated processes. Is your office infrastructure truly working for you, actively driving efficiency and reducing stress? Or have things gotten so overly complicated that your employees are just spending their days working to maintain the infrastructure? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer on the true mechanics of office productivity. Stay curious and definitely take a fresh look at your workspace today.